Hi everyone. Today we are going to look into some of the basic commands in Fusion 360 and how to create 3D objects from 2D sketches, what kind of thought process is required when you try to sketch an unknown object, some basic interfaces in Fusion 360, basic commands that will that will make your life easier when you're using this particular software. So let's get started. So, some of the first things that we're going to see today are some of the first things we're going to see today are an extrude command, a revolve command, and a pipe command and a coil command. What is the difference between each of these commands? Suppose I have a square or a rectangle, and I want to make a cube from it. How do I go about making a cube from a square? Or if I have what command do I use? The command is called as extrude command, given by the symbol E. Suppose I want to go ahead and make something out of this cube. What are the different features that I'm going to use to make this? So the first things that you need to know about a Fusion 360 interface is if you want to create a sketch, go to create, you can click on create sketch. Now this over here will give you the views. You can choose one of the views. Each of the views mean top if you look at it just from the top. Front would mean if you're looking at it from the front view. And if you look at it from a particular angle, then between top and front, then you can look at the object at an angle. It's pretty much like your four directions. There is north, west, south, and east, and you can look at, then there is northwest, there is northeast, southwest, southeast, something very similar. And if you want to go back to your origin or homing, then you can click on the home icon and it'll take you to the original view that the software, the default of the software. Let's go to the top view. I'm going to take the top, I'm going to draw a rectangle. I'm going to draw a rectangle here. You can go and pick a 2-point rectangle, a center rectangle, or a 3-point rectangle. I'm going to go with the 2-point rectangle and over there. Now you must have noticed a tiny R near it. That means that's the shortcut for drawing a rectangle. So what you can do is on your keyboard, you can press R and that should do the job. Or you could press L and that will give you a straight line. You could press a C and you could get a circle. So within the sketch command, you can do these changes. Similarly, for creating a dimension, you can either go here, go to sketch dimensions, or press D and give a dimension. And my default is in mm. If you want to change it to inches, go to setting, go to usual settings and change it. The task pane over here that you see, you have your basic maneuvering commands like free orbiting, constrained orbiting, or fit command. Click on the top view, it becomes straight. I just changed it. You can align it again and you go to the top view. You can select how many views you want to give it. Each view will come, or you just want to see a single view. So these are some of the easier commands, and you'll understand them better when you kind of play with the softwares. Go ahead and play with the software. Now I finished the sketch. Now I need a cube. So if I stack a bunch of squares, it gives me a cube. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a command called as extrude. Alternatively, I can also press E, which will give create this extrude toolbox. And the profile is selected already. You can select from where you want to extrude it. So on either side, you can see that change happening over here. Let me just give it some distance. Say it's going to extrude for like 50 because I'm going to create a cube. Okay. And if you want to come out of the free orbit, just press escape and you're back to the home tab. If you want to create a cube, I've given some distance. If I want to make it symmetric, it would extend on both the sides. From here, it'll go 50 this side and 50 this side, giving it 100 total. But since I do not want the object to extend on both sides, I'm just going to make it 50 right now, and one side, and that's pretty much it. So now my cube is ready. Suppose I did not want a cube, I wanted it to taper a bit more. I could go back, click on it, right click, you could edit the feature, and you could go and give it a taper angle. Give it a taper angle of 15, you will notice that it has tapered outwards. The angle 15 has caused it to give it an outward taper. Fusion 360 is intelligent in the sense that it uses your coordinate system. So minus 15 basically will cause you an inward taper because it's going in the downward direction. So it has a sense of clockwise and counterclockwise. So 15 plus 15 is clockwise, counterclockwise, and minus 15 is clockwise. You could do those changes as well. So you could create a taper of this sort. Suppose I do not want a taper, so I'm going to go back here, right click, edit feature, remove the taper angle, make it 0. There is my cube. Suppose I want to make, say, a die out of this cube, like a pair of dies. I'm making a single die. The dies have their ends pretty smooth, so I'm going to go and use this command called as chamfer or fillet. What the fillet command does is when you click on two ends, it creates this tiny circular part over here. You can adjust how tiny you want it to be. Alternatively, I can do the same in my sketch. You go to edit sketch command. You could take the fillet option, click on it, and you could adjust the dimensions as you deem fit. And you could keep on doing that with the same command. 5 mm. You finish the sketch. Now you have that happening on all the 4 sides, and because they are stacked, you will see this happening across on all the 8 sides. All right, so I have a basic cube structure. Now what if I want to sketch on top of an object? Go ahead, create sketch, click on the face that you want to draw. Suppose I want to draw just one. I want to draw 5. So what I can do to draw 5, simply, there's something called as a pattern command. Click on this. You could either pick rectangular pattern from here or press S, which will open the sketch shortcuts. Rectangular pattern. Choose the object that you want to pattern. Select the direction about which you want to pattern it. Give the number of quantity. Give the distance over which it has to pattern it. Say 40. Right. And since I want a rectangular pattern, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna create 4. So the quantity is going to be 2 again. Okay, so I just had a single circle and I ended up creating 4. You could end up creating 5, 6 in the same pattern. For 5, you might have to draw something in the center. So the sketch is over. Now, how do now usually you can either create the extrude, click on these, and you could cut them out. So it would create a kind of a depression. For cutting it out, you're again going to give it in minus. So you have a cut of this order. Or if you didn't want to cut it, there is something called as emboss command, where you could choose the sketch profiles. You could choose the face on which you want it to be embossed on, and the depth of the emboss, and whether you want it to be deboss or emboss, that depends on you. And okay, there's something similar, but this one is pretty much useful when you want to emboss a text, when you want to write something along it. This was the extrude command. So we worked on a few extrude command. We tried how to make a dies using the extrude command. In the next video, we'll see how to use the revolve command.